Get the birds. Get the birds. How you do, sir? All right.
We're here for the 12-10 tour. Come on.
We're a little late, aren't we? I'm sure it happens all the time. We didn't realize this is this far out here.
Far away from downtown Nashville.
I hope there's samples.
In the front desk. Hey, I got a few folks for your 12-10 tour. I'm bringing straight on over. Hey, thank you. Y'all enjoy the tour.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, sir. You can't. Straight to the front door. They're waiting on us.
They are waiting on us, I guess.
Good morning, how are y'all?
Hello, how are you?
Good. As you go in, they're going to get your temperature. Do y'all have a tour scheduled for today?
Yes, ma'am.
We do. 12-10.
All right. So front desk is going to be to your right. Make sure you have your IDs with you.
Okay.
Is it in the car?
Way back there, they're waiting. He just called ahead. We're 12-10 tour, so we're kind of trying to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would get in there.
She already filled out the thing online.
Right there on that black square, honey. Pull your face mask down. What time is those tour?
12
You are good. Grab one of these stickers and just put it on your shirt somewhere for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is he with your brother?
Yes.
Yes or no, anybody in your party work with the TABC? All right, if y'all follow me, and y'all all filled out a waiver.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you'll follow me. Okay, so you're going on an outdoor half-mile walking tour.
Okay.
The tour path has been slightly modified since COVID. There's still some production buildings they won't allow us back in. There are no restrooms on the tour path. Does anybody need the restroom? This is Ron. He's going to be your tour guide. These are your four.
Very good.
For the 12-10.
We're good with tour passes and all?
Yep. I just asked them if they need the restroom. Nobody needs the restroom. So they're
We
all
just started a movie in here, folks. It's a 5-minute movie, so you can catch the last 2 minutes and 73 seconds.
Okay. Fair enough.
Where are y'all from?
Texas. Want to get with you? Whiskey. Thank you, sir.
Are you a whiskey drinker, sir?
A little bit.
How do you like to drink it?
Straight on a couple of cubes.
He knows what the scoop is. He's drinking it straight.
I just need a window so
Get through this COVID thing, we'll pull these signs off of these seats. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
My name
plan.
is Ron. Say hello to our bus driver, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Mark's a nice guy. He's a very good bus driver. Folks, right now, Mark is sober.
Whoa, that's tight.
Off the tour, right at the end of the tour, you go and look at that picture they just shot of you. They can print it out all kinds of fancy for you. They're going to charge you some money if you want to carry that picture out with you.
Okay.
We're heading for the Rickyard. We get off the bus, we walk our way back. It's a third of a mile walk. Going to take us an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. We got a bunch of steps up and down. Folks, if you have any problems out here with the walk and the stairs, you have any issues at all, your feet hurt, we get rained on, you come and tell me your problems because I can help you out, guaranteed. A couple things. There's no smoking on this tour. Or otherwise, you can take pictures anywhere you like, except in one building. We encourage picture taking. Cell phones are officially banned on this tour. But I know people quick carrying cameras, you take good pictures with your cell phone. Folks, if you keep from doing this, on my tour, I'm going to look the other way. Got a deal?
Deal.
All right, this ain't Disneyland. We're going to do places to be hot, noisy, and smelly. And y'all stay with me out here. Do not walk away from the tour guide.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. We've got about 600 people working here. And folks, on the first Friday of every month, the company sees fit to give to every employee, well, we'll get that little 1 pint bottle, black label, old number 7, do with what we will. I drink mine. Mark, what do we call that first payday every month?
Good Friday.
Good Friday. We get 1 religious and 12 spiritual Good Fridays every year.
Charcoal
Folks, the
production.
main thing now I want to tell you is I like questions. If you have any questions about anything you ask me, I love questions. You can stump me, but it's pretty tough. No brag, just fact. Mark, do you think I sound like a braggart when I talk like that?
Oh, no. I think that's confidence.
Okay. It ain't bragging if you can back it up, huh?
That's right.
All right.
Do you like Waylon Jennings?
Yeah.
Because you do favor him a little bit behind that mask.
Oh, is that right?
It might be the beard.
Now, I've always considered Waylon Jennings to be a handsome man.
Yeah.
Folks, Brother Mark did a pretty good job for a man his weight and age. Y'all say thank you to Mark when you get out here. That's why. Thank you, Mark.
Have fun, Ron.
Yep. I like your accent, Mark.
Enjoy it.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. We'll all enjoy it.
This is the original tractor, about 600 acres here. This is where it all started right here. Good question.
3 tracts of land, 2,000 acres.
2,000 acres. In 3 different plots?
Yep, this is the original one.
And this is the
We're
original.
going to talk about barrel houses in a minute. We like to scatter them barrel houses out, so if lightning hits one, you don't lose them all, you see. So a lot of this acreage is deep woods, it's forest like you see around here. Yeah. We don't allow hunting back in here, so this is like a nature preserve. Quite often on our tour, we'll see deer and turkey run around. If y'all happen to see a turkey today, you need to know they're going to be about the only wild turkey you'll see in Lynchburg. Corporate spies. Here we are at the Rickyard. It says so right there. Now, who knows what a rick is? A rick is a stack of wood. It's a major wood. Peek around. So you got a bunch of ricks of hard sugar maple. This wood comes from the uplands of Tennessee. Now, a quart of wood gives you about 2 ricks. We take 4 of these ricks and we stack them under these big burn chimneys that the EPA helped us design. And we burn this wood down. Folks, what we're doing here, we're making our own charcoal to mellow our whiskey with. This is a very expensive process. There's only 3 distilleries in the whole world that goes all this trouble and expense making whiskey. Folks, we light that fire, let it burn about 90 minutes. This big old fire. We'll squirt water on the fire. We'll stir it up. You put the fire out, and that's how the charcoal is made. And when we're done, you can pretty much fill up that big steel box right there with sweet maple charcoal. 4 ricks of wood. Pop off that shiny stuff you see right there. Now folks, 3 days ago, right after daybreak, right before we threw the match in the wood to light the fire, we squirted the wood with the liquid. Make it take off burning hot and fast. This liquid is not gasoline or lighter fluid or kerosene or petrol. Folks, that stuff is even nasty flavor in your whiskey. We squirt it down to 140 proof. That means 70% raw whiskey straight off our stills. It burns with a hot blue flame, buddy. Blue blaze. Folks, if you picked up a piece of that charcoal, if you put that charcoal to your nose and sniff on it, you're going to learn real quick that you ain't going to smell nothing. So we want y'all to understand, folks, that we don't add nothing into our whiskey when we drip that whiskey to the charcoal. Folks, that charcoal, that is nature's perfect filtering medium, and it removes corn oil and the fatty acids. It's a parts per million thing. Folks, this little extra stuff that we call charcoal melon, this is what separates us from being bourbon. Now, our government imposes all kinds of rules and laws, restrictions, and definitions on our industry. And you can make whiskey. If you want to make bourbon, which is a higher quality, you gotta jump through a bunch of little hoops to call yourself bourbon. Folks, we do all that. But by federal definition and state law, if you drip your bourbon through charcoal to improve its quality and flavor, now you're making Tennessee whiskey. The other 2 Tennessee whiskey distilleries are each about 30 miles from where we're sitting right now. Yeah. Folks, it breaks my heart that we can't show you everything here today. When the COVID hit, the production people said keep them out of our production building, make the stills house. Now, I'm comfortable with what we had to show you about the stills, and we just opened up, no kidding, 3 weeks ago, opened up the charcoal mellowing building. We're finally able to get you up there. I feel good about that, but there's no way we can get you in to see the fermenting. These big vats are from here to that wall, the bubbling, the smell of that yeast. People come here 30 years after their first visit, and if they remember anything from the tour, they remember that experience. Some people say that smell, they just love it. It smells like grandma baking bread. Other people say it makes them sick to their stomach. Can't get you in to show that today, but folks, I promise y'all, come sundown, y'all gonna have a pretty good idea how this fits together. Are there any questions? All right, y'all stay with me out here. Be careful walking, don't fall down, break your leg, don't crack your head, don't sprain your wrist, don't fracture your kneecaps and legs. Gearheads, check out that bicycle chain right there. Now, you're not going to find that technology so much anymore in the automotive industry, is you?
No,
on
sir.
the other side is the 1928 REO Speed wagon. Look on the hill, folks, top of the hill, catching the afternoon sun. That's a barrel house up there. You can't see all 7 stories. 20,166 barrels of whiskey's up there. That's over 1 million gallons under that roof. You can't, no floors in the barrel house. Folks, it's all just a bunch of racks. We roll them barrels onto all them racks. We fill that whole thing up. We hang the lock on the door, and we wait 4 years. We come back in 4 years to taste the whiskey in that barrel, and our tasters will say, yes, it's ready. Sometimes they say, no, leave it longer, folks. Most of what we do is in the barrel about 4 years. There's another barrel house right there. Got a whole bunch of these barrel houses. They're scattered all around Lynchburg and Moore County. Millions and millions of gallons of whiskey inventory on site. And they give me one lousy pint once a month.
No, Lord.
Why they should rent rooms in the barrel house? There wouldn't be anything left.
Still building on your left. That's the oldest building in the holler today. In fact, that's the only structure still standing from way back in Jack's day. Built in mid-1870s. That's our company office.
Nah.
Our corporate headquarters. Clear up to the year I was born, 1952. That's when I built that new office there across the street. 68 years ago. A lot of history involved in that. step up there, you notice that the temperature of the air coming out of the cave is different. 56 degrees. That's the air and the water year round. Now you might not feel that
56
so much
degrees.
today, but let me tell you, you come back take this tour in the middle of July, you got 98 degrees right here. Get up in there, buddy. It's unbelievable. I need a crowbar to meet our people out there on a hot day. Folks, Jack Daniel born on a farm about 3 miles southwest, right out this ridge. His mama died when he was very young. Jack was a hard-working kid. When he was 7 years old, he moved in with a local Lutheran minister named Dan Call. And Jack learned how to make whiskey working on his preachers still. Now, folks, in them days, anybody could make or sell whiskey. It's like growing a garden. A lot of people did. Reverend Call had an enslaved man working for him. His name was Nathan Nearest Green. Jack worked side by side with Nearest Green on the Call farm, and he got to helping out Nearest making whiskey on Dan Call's still. And folks, during his time, that Jack determined he going to be a whiskey making fella himself. And in his early teenage years, folks, Jack bought that still. He went to work making whiskey for a living. He had men working for him making quality whiskey. And after that, Jack moved that little still, and he moved it right here. And he moved it here because of the water that issues from this spring. Folks, Jack Daniel discovered this water makes for some pretty good whiskey. It's mineral rich, it is iron free, and this is why we're all still located right here today. We use this water making the whiskey. Big water pipe is buried up through here. Going up in there now is the intake, and there's where we pull the water. In recorded history, this spring has never gone dry. Fellers are crawled up into that cave more than a mile back up in there, spelunking and on. Are there any questions?
Wow. Spring, the water
Ma'am?
coming from?
Louder, please.
Where's the water come from?
Rain which has fallen over the decades, soaking down. This is the aquifer emerging from the ground. That's what a spring is. Good question.
What he said, that aquifer, that spring comes up right up between, it's been, as rain filters through these rocks, it makes mineral rich with low iron, and then it comes right here. And that's where they've been making Jack Daniels from this water all those years and still today.
Don't mind these stumps. These stumps are uneven.
Really? What?
Let's leave him in the background then. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty right there.
Grain. This is called mashing. That mash looks like corn soup. You throw yeast into the mash, now you got sour mash. Folks, yeast
Sour
is a
mash.
microorganism. It consumes the sugars from the grains, and that makes carbon dioxide bubbles. It makes whiskey, called this fermenting. We're going to let it sit and bubble and ferment for 4 days. Folks, after 4 days, the sugar is all gone, and for every 5 gallons of that fermented sour mash in there, we got 1 gallon of 140 proof whiskey.
Wow.
Separate the whiskey out of the mash by distilling. Then we drip the whiskey through the charcoal, let it mellow, put it in a wooden barrel, let it mature, and it stays in that barrel until the flavor of the whiskey tastes right. That's when we bottle it, we sell it, folks. That's what we do. That's it. You see the tall, narrow structure there? That accommodates our 4 copper column stills. These stills are 40 feet tall. Now most of the whiskey distilled in this country is done in a pot still. That means it's a batch. Those are the stills that are shaped like this. You put your mash in there, you build a fire, you boil it. The vapor comes up, you catch it, it goes out, the vapor will cool and condense, and the whiskey be dripping off the end of the pipe. Then you gotta wash it out, start all over again. These column stills, big copper tube, continuous flow, they never stop running. They allow for a much greater volume of production with no compromise of quality. Y'all are standing next to the biggest whiskey production facility in the world. Wow. So come on in. How many acres on the King Ranch? 40,000?
No, yeah, no, it's in like 300,000 total.
Yeah. Here's the 3 grains we use. You can see what the flour looks like after we grind it down right there in the grain mill. That's what it is, folks. So this is the last known photograph of Jack Daniel. Right there. This is the only picture that ever shows Jack with gray or white hair. Now we figure this picture made around 1895, which was 20 years after this office was built. Y'all look careful at this picture. Folks, Jack, he's the only one standing up. Everybody sitting down. 5'2". That's an ounce or 2 over what we have right now. Here's what I want to show you, folks. This man right here, this is George Green. That's Nearest Green's son, folks. His daddy taught Jack Daniel how to make whiskey. His father was Jack's first distiller. Now, folks, I'd like to make a delicate point with you here. A group photograph from before the turn of the century in the deep south, you might not expect to find these 2 fellas seated next to each other. Folks, these guys were like family. Nearest Green was working for Jack on day 1 when he started out as a teenager. And folks, Nearest Green and his descendants have been here every day ever since making whiskey for over 150 years.
Wow.
We're very proud of this. Many family members still here today from all these guys' family. Over the years, we've had other head distillers. There's the top dog in the holler today. That's Chris Fletcher. Chris took that position 3 weeks ago when Jeff Arnett retired. Jeff is the guy you saw staring at that little glass of whiskey for about 3 hours in that movie. Boy, you check it out. When I come to work here, Jimmy Bedford was a master distiller. This is a small town, folks. For example, Chris's grandfather was Frank Bobo, our 5th master distiller. We make an incredible amount of whiskey here in this tiny little town. To illustrate further, we have a weekly newspaper, Moore County News. Everybody takes the paper not to read the news. Everybody gets it just to make sure they got it right. They eat cat food and bark at the moon. I think it tastes kind of sweet. You gotta sip it though, you can't be gulping it. Are there any questions?
Did they used to drink it like that, or did they always?
That's the big thing about moonshiner, you know. They get a big jug of it, you sip on straight. Don't put it in a barrel. Of course, you can make it any proof you want. But that's the big deal about the moonshining thing. It's really high proof.
Right. Because it's just water that brings it down, right?
Right, you add water. Don't be asking me what kind of water we use.
I just can't imagine during the day they ever add water to their whiskey. I just don't know.
And the moonshine's still going on. I proof it out at home. There's some guys out there making some really good stuff. $40 for a gallon jug, a cider jug, $40.
Nice.
110 proof. Yeah. I'm hard of hearing, John.
That is whiskey flowing. 35 gallons a minute, 24/7.
The state of Tennessee voted itself dry in 1909.
The whole whole state.
We weren't the whole state. We weren't the first state to go dry. 10 years later, the whole country went dry. Federal prohibition. It was a stupid idea. It didn't work. Got repealed at the federal level in 1932. From that point, it's up to every state. Then every county, city to have a vote wet or dry. Tennessee went wet again in 1938, and that's the year that we went back to work making whiskey here in what was still a dry county. We're still dry today. So most of these buildings were started at that time, 1938, 1940. We've been adding on to them ever since. So anyway, most of these buildings were started 1938, 1940. This is our very first dedicated charcoal milling building right here. There's 12 charcoal milling guys. You see the line right there. Decades later, we added on again, and then later again. If you look at the brickwork on these buildings, different sections will look different. They're all built in different decades. When I come to work here 16 years ago, folks, we had 62 barrel houses. Now we have 94. We're adding on all the time. You keep drinking it, we'll keep making it.
And you said these are charcoal? What?
That's the charcoal mellowing building up here on top.
Melding?
Mellowing.
Mellowing. Charcoal mellowing. Okay.
That's what we do that separates us from just about
That's where the whiskey's going through the charcoal.
That's where it is. I'm going to take you over and show it to you. We're going to
Gotcha.
get to the top of this building. Now, we get up there, go through a steel door to enter this building. So once you shut your electronics off, there'll be no photographing inside this building. And when we get up there, don't worry about me. It's going to take me about a minute to catch my breath.
Yeah, why is the black getting on the building?
It's a microscopic plant. This stuff can grow anywhere, grow everywhere when conditions are right. Temperature and humidity, this is a microflora. It occurs naturally.
Oh.
Well, if you have alcohol vapor in the air, this stuff just really thrives. You're going to see it around our stills house. You'll see it on each of the barrel houses. Folks, it don't hurt a thing. These are all healthy trees here. That's a happy tree right down there. It don't hurt people. Now you go to gas up your car in this country. You flip the little door open there, that black crud that's growing around your gas cap right there is the same stuff from the ethanol they're putting in our gasoline. It's a smudgy, smeary, messy thing. It don't hurt a thing.
So that means we can't buy special bottles here then, doesn't it?
Don't assume. Don't assume.
I guess you supply enough jobs and bring enough tax revenue, you can kind of smooth whatever you want.
It's also checking to see if you can smell.
Hey, Ron.
Really?
You gotta drink first.
There's alternate meanings to that.
Oh.
She thirsty.
No, not that thirsty. That's when another woman wants your man.
Oh, is that what it means?
Thirsty.
I thought it just meant she, like...
Gotta turn it off now. You got it? Below there. If you look on the outside of this, it says charcoal mellowing. Capacity 2,326. That is so cool.
Now, they told me since I'm just a sniffer with the white whiskey, they said don't be drinking it. And well, I've learned a way to. I can put it in, I can spit backwards. Mind these steps, be careful. This way, please.
Okay.